United States, the United Kingdom of Great Britain, and I think one other country carved out the state we know today as the state of Israel. How the hell are they running anything, Solo? Huh? Text my phone and correct me if that's wrong.
Hold on, let me come back because I have to walk away.
Yeah, you take your time. What's next, y'all? There are several.
I think that was the case back
That's a
in
fair
World.
statement to make.
I think
There's
that was the case
several
back in World War
what
III, but
power
that's
factors
definitely
are you
not the
talking
case
about,
now.
reactor for? Yeah, I guess you want to use the word allegedly too. What power? What when you say power factions? The only power factions you could be talking about is the British Empire, the United States. We're talking World War II, and I don't even remember what the third nation was. But the United States bailed Britain and France out of World War II. Hitler was tearing their ass up. This nigga was making it rain over France. Hitler was flying German planes over France. They might have been France planes and just dumping their money over France. Where's the guy from the French Canadian dude? Tell him to correct me if I'm wrong. If history wasn't important, we wouldn't have memories. Y'all just think about that. For everybody who just think history ain't something. Now, there's history that's not relevant to what's going on today, but there's also history that we can use today and learn from. They influence the U.S. They don't run shit.
Nah, they run this joint.
They run the United States of Israel over there in the Middle East.
I don't think so.
What you mean?
Todd,
You know, what?
These are like this. So when I say they run our government, it's just certain stuff I think Israel does that we wouldn't let other countries. And the fact that they've gotten away with so much, that tells me that they have some type of hold on our politicians where they can't go out straight out war with Israel after being attacked, after being spied on, after being, any all the stuff. I mean, I don't know if we have to go down the list.
Somebody did us a favor and looked up the Balfour Agreement. So the Balfour Declaration was for the and Palestine. I don't know about that part, Tori. The Balfour Declaration was for the and Palestine Arabs, civil rights and things.
That was the agreement.
Britain was occupying Palestine and facilitated the established creation of Israel. Britain did not deliver on that facilitation because Hitler was tearing their ass up. And who came and bailed Britain out? Britain is the mother of America. So when America comes into World War II and Hitler switches out on Russia, which was a dumbass mistake, this nigga didn't even understand the terrain. So he's sending German soldiers in the coldest part of the winter, and he switched out on Stalin. Israel is carrying regular acts of genocide for 75 years. Okay, I ain't getting into all that. That's a little too, you showing up trying to get me on the Charlie Kirk list. All right, I'm tired and I did not loan anything up. So you didn't even look it up. All right. The Medea is the origin of the drug. Boom, boom, boom. I'm not just reading no crazy stuff, y'all. Referencing to the Medea is the origin of the drug used for ritual healing. And what they got to do with talking about, you know, referencing 300 in the history of the bill. Okay, you kind of went over my head with that, Allah. I'm keying in payroll. Do your thing, Tori. But I thought you hadn't looked up the Balfour Agreement for me. So, Solo, where were we?
We was talking about Israel running our government.
You get that from Candace. Shout out to Candace Owens. You get that from Candace.
She definitely. That if that's not the case,
I
thought we all agreed on that. If it wasn't for we wouldn't have been sending. We've been sending aid to Gaza. These folks spied on us. That's another thing. How is it that they can spy on us? Israel can spy on us, steal our national secrets, give it to our enemy, and then we not retaliate. How can they bomb one of our Navy ships and we not retaliate? How could they allegedly shoot one of our presidents and we not retaliate? You know, it's going through the news that they had something to do with 9/11.
Oh, that's over my head. You changing the subject a little bit.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you how Israel runs.
All right, so you got Reactor 4 on your side. Reactor 4 say, I agree with you on this, Solo.
That's the split between MAGA. Is whether or not Trump is going to do what MAGA is going to do what Israel's bidding, or is he going to stand by the conservatives in the United States?
No, MAGA gave him votes. That lady out of Israel gave him money. We talked about this earlier. Politicians answer to the donors, not the voters. The voters is the people power. So the voters help get you in there, but the donors are the people who you answer to if you don't want to spend your own money. That's how this shit works. Text my phone and correct me if that's wrong. So the donor, you answer to you implement the agenda of your donors. The voters give you the power. Everybody know that. I don't know if they're on good terms or not, but MAGA would rise up for Trump if something, crazy was to happen. Also, Trump had a lot of this. So there you go. Trump had a lot of secret donors. So that's who that don't mean they run shit. He's just giving them a return on their investment. Hey, you guys gave me X amount of dollars. Here's what I told you I'll do. Elon gave him millions or billions of dollars. Okay, Elon, I'll let you run Doge for 6 months. Elon got addicted to the power and it aired out Trump dirty laundry, talking about he's in the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Showing that even the richest guy in the world could get in his feelings. Because that's pretty much what he did.
Absolutely.
The Epstein files because Ehud Barak was in it. MAGA hates, absolutely, that part. MAGA hates pedophiles and elitist assholes. I'm familiar with that.
But that's what he's saying. And he's saying the split in MAGA
right.
is whether or not Trump is going to do what
I don't think there's a split. Let's read this line again. MAGA hates pedophiles and elitist assholes. What's the split?
The split is whether or not MAGA is not going to stand with Trump if he continues to do Israel's bidding. If he starts a war with Iran, that would be a direct contradiction on what he ran on when he said that he was a pro-peace president and we could not afford a war with Iran. But if he's going to go to war with Iran, that means that he's doing what the Israelis from Israel wants him to do.
Because they're the donors. MAGA is his base.
No, it's because they run our government.
No, they influence.
I mean, they are the donors, yes. But they're the ones run now. But Taj, I think we're saying the same thing though.
We are, but I don't think this is semantics though. It's a return on investment. So,
right, but if I pay you to do what I want you to do, are you not? Am I not running you, telling you what?
No, that's a return on investment. That lady gave Trump a lot of money. Trump, can you implement this agenda if I donate this amount of money? What did MAGA donate? MAGA donated votes. So they gave him people power, emotional power. And domestically in the United States, how much power does MAGA have outside of the United States? React to 4, where you at now? Answer that question. How much power does MAGA have outside of the borders of the United States?
But that's the argument that I'm making when I say that. But that's the argument that I'm making, Taj. When I say that white Americans are not the ones running the government or the world. They have, like you're saying right now, they have limited power in the United States. The government will give them that. But on as far as a global level, who's running our government, who's running international interactions with other countries, that is Israelis.
No, it's the CIA. And that's kind of over my head.
And that's who run the CIA. And who do you think run the CIA?
The CIA runs everything outside of the United States. You trying to give Israel credit for that?
But who do you think runs the CIA?
Israel runs. I haven't researched the CIA. I don't research that. I research the FBI before I research the CIA. I don't know that. I'm not an expert with this, but you're trying to give credit to Israel, and the CIA runs everything outside of the United States, including Israel. All right. The FBI is the domestic version of the CIA. I haven't traveled abroad, so why would I be an expert in CIA stuff?
No, but I mean, I think it comes from the fact that we are watching what America is doing on the outside of the country, like what we're doing as it relates to our relationships with other countries. And we see that when America goes to war in the Middle East, it's to benefit Israel. Like that's not a secret.
And that also
out in the world. That's not like this not a conspiracy theory. That's the truth.
Solo, so you overlooked the point I made earlier by you're saying it only benefits Israel. But if Israel is the United States, so Israel is like the DC of the Middle East. Can we agree on that? React to where you at? Do you agree with that? Israel is like the DC of the Middle East. Let's do a poll on that in the comment section. Do you agree with that?
I think Israel is like the United States of the Middle East.
Okay, that's semantics. The United States, DC is the United States. It's the nation's capital. So I'm basically saying Yes, I said that earlier, Solo. It's the United States of Israel in the Middle East. Without America, you have to take the United States part out. It would just be the state of Israel without the military protection of the United States. So that's why we're saying the United States of Israel in the Middle East. And then Saudi Arabia just makes it even more powerful. So you got the United States of Israel, which is pretty much the DC of the Middle East. And then you have Saudi Arabia, which is the richest sovereign nation in the Middle East.